Well, folks, that's the end of the game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have lost to the Atlanta Falcons with a final score being 30-17. Now, this means a couple of things. Number one, it means that the Buccaneers finished the 2022 regular season with a final record of 8-9. This means that it is the first losing season in Tom Brady's entire career, be it with the Bucs or the Patriots, and that's unfortunate. It also means that the Buccaneers finished with a losing record and still get into the playoffs, which is kind of cool, but they have a losing record on the year, which is still pretty unfortunate. But at the end of the day, the Buccaneers still make the playoffs. The Falcons finish at 7-10. So they have some momentum for themselves going into the offseason. But let's kind of talk about some of this, okay? So the starters did not play a decent chunk of this game. Tom Brady, I believe, had 3 drives. He finished 13 of 17 for 84 yards and a touchdown. Blaine Gabbert then came in, threw for 6 of 8, 29 yards and a touchdown. And Kyle Trask was 3 of 9 for 23 yards. Now, this looks exactly like a preseason game in terms of the quarterback statistics. I thought Blaine Gabbert had some good moments. I thought Tom Brady had some good moments. I thought Kyle Trask, just didn't get a ton done with the opportunities he was given, unfortunately. And we'll see what that means for the future for the Bucs. But the running back position, Giovanni Bernard had 7 carries for 28 yards. It was nice to see Giovanni Bernard out there. Keyshawn Vaughn, 8 carries for 26 yards. Devin Tompkins had an end around go for 17 yards. I'd love to see Devin Tompkins get more involved. And Rachaad White had 4 carries for 15 yards. Fournette did not have a single run this game. However, Fournette did have a catch for 4 yards as we move on to the receiving. Chris Godwin, 6 catches for 55 yards on 7 targets. Now, Godwin did get over 1,000 yards on the season. He did. But he was 3 receptions short of the franchise record for most receptions in a Buccaneers season. Keyshawn Johnson still holds the record. Chris Godwin has second. I believe he finishes with 104 receptions on the year. We didn't see any of Mike Evans. Devin Tompkins had 9 targets in this game, 4 catches for 25 yards. Russell Gage had 6 targets, 3 catches, 15 yards, and a touchdown. And he was a little bit shaken up after that touchdown, but it seems like he will be okay. Kyle Rudolph, 1 target, 1 catch, 8 yards, and a touchdown. Kyle Rudolph's 50th receiving touchdown of his career. And it was from Tom Brady, I believe. Yeah, it was from Tom Brady. So Kyle Rudolph's 50th touchdown catch of his career is by Tom Brady. That's pretty cool in my opinion. You then had some other guys contribute. Scotty Miller, 1 catch, 8 yards. Keyshawn Vaughn, 2 catches, 8 yards. Cade Otton, 1 catch, 5 yards. So some other guys were contributing. Chris Godwin did have a fumble lost, his second in 2 games, which I think is pretty notable and worth paying attention to. On the defensive side of things, Antoine Winfield Jr. led the way with tackles with 13 and a quarterback hit. Winfield Jr. was the only starter to finish the game because the Bucs had Mike Edwards and Logan Ryan out of the game as well, so Winfield Jr. was basically their only option. D. Delaney had 8 tackles in this game and 1 tackle for loss. KJ Britt had 7 tackles. Ifedi Odenigbo had 6 total tackles and 1 tackle for loss. J.J. Russell had 5 tackles. Anthony Nelson, 4 tackles. Sean Murphy-Bunting, 4 tackles and a pass deflection. And then you had some other guys contribute in other situations. Jotran Shawinka, a tackle for loss and quarterback hit. Akeem Hicks had a pretty decent game. 3 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss and a quarterback hit. Levante David had a tackle for loss. Pat O'Connor had a tackle for loss. Jamel Dean had a pass deflection. Keanu Neal and Logan Hall both had quarterback hits. For field goals, for kicking, Suckup was perfect on the day. 1 for 1 of field goals, 2 for 2 for extra points. Jake Camarda had a fantastic day. 5 punts, 2 inside the 20, 1 touchback, an average of 50.6 yards a punt. It was kind of a punting duel today as well because Bradley Pinion, 3 punts for 51.3 yards average, 1 inside the 20. Former Tampa Bay Buccaneers punter last year. So, the starters rested. It was kind of what a lot of people expected, right? At the end of the day, it was what it was. Congratulations to the Falcons for winning this ball game and finishing with a 7-10 record. They had a running back get over 1,000 yards on the season with Tyler Algier. Desmond Ridder did some interesting things for them. Drake London had a big game with 120 yards. And they had some guys step up on their defensive side as well. Cornell Armstrong, Isaiah Oliver, Troy Anderson were some of those guys. Grady Jarrett, he does some good stuff, but saw a lot of the Bucs backups in this one. And, there were some okay moments, but some not great moments from the depth as well, which is interesting and I think worth paying attention to. But all in all, man, hey, that's the end of the season. Regular season, I guess I should say. That's the end of the regular season. The Buccaneers are making the playoffs. The Falcons finish with a little bit of momentum on their side, so the Bucs move on to the wild card round. Who do they play? We don't know yet. It's either going to be the Cowboys or the Eagles. Once that information comes out, I'll be making a separate video talking about that. But yeah, the Bucs are officially in playoff mode now. The starters are rested up. They're going to be about as healthy as they can be. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens for the Buccaneers moving forward as they are getting ready to play in the wild card round of the 2022-2023 playoffs. So there you have that.